Watching. Okay, so I got mine transferred lightly. Now, last week we worked with grays, which is pretty much what you want to figure out with your white flowers. What would be, how could you make a nice light gray that would give these flowers some value? Very pale blue, and then possibly a little bit of a red over. Gonna have to try that and see what I want to do. So I'm thinking probably a clear blue, which is like a cobalt. You'll see I put very little color in there. So, and that red is Caroline red. So it's close to like a cad red. It's a little bit warm because I don't want, because there's so much warm, we want to kind of keep with a warm tone because the greens are all really warm greens. They're not really cool. So I'm thinking that the values in the flowers are going to be a little bit on the warm side. But you could try a cool red too and just see what you like better. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take some yellow, like a gamboge yellow, and do a layer on my stems. I'm using a number 4 brush round.
So can I interrupt you? What colors are you gonna start using? You said, I'm sorry.
This is a yellow gamboge, a new gamboge. It's kind of a, or a you could use a yellow ochre. You want something that's kind of a golden yellow.
Mhm. Okay.
And then after
For the
that,
stems, correct?
yeah, that's what I'm working on now.
So you're starting to paint the face.
That's the, can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I'm starting with the stems.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
And that's the first layer of the green. These will all be green. Some yellow in the center of this flower. And I'm gonna dab it like this to kind of create some texture in there. Okay, so I know my first layer on my flowers, the value of them is going to be a light, very light wash of cobalt. So I just mixed up a little bit here so that I don't have to worry about having too much color. I can always add another layer. But I want to make sure that I'm starting with a really light. And so then I'm just starting to create some value in these. Make sure you leave some white. See, you can see, you know, these petals are transparent. And so where they cross over each other, they create a little bit of value in the one that's on top. So I'm going to hang on to that because I'm probably going to use it to do a second layer when I'm ready. So now I can look at my samples and see which color green, which color blue I want to use. I think I'm going to start with this manganese blue, which is like a cerulean. I'm kind of leaving a little bit of yellow highlight over on the side here. This is the direction that my light is coming from. And I may at some point decide that's too much. I don't want that much yellow, but right now I'm wanting a highlight there. Okay, I'm gonna do another layer of the blue. So the tricky part's going to be the background. I think I like the vineyards. I like the stripes, but I don't like these trees so much. So I think I'm going to create a hillside back here. And then I can just do some stripes. Multi-greens, probably start with the yellow and then build up the greens, and then down where the shadow parts are, add like some raw umber and maybe it'll need blue. I don't know. It looks pretty brown there, but I want to be sure and not forget that I want flowers here. I want some little, I need some daisy things going on here. And since I think I'm going to do sky up here, I'm going to start my whole background with a layer of, I'm going to create my clouds and do actually the whole layer down in blue first. And it can be soft and kind of runny. And then I can create my vineyard over that.
Sure.
So we start by wetting the background when I do this. Well, if you're ready or not. But I'm going to wet the whole background. I'm going to go around those flowers. So I'm not using a very big brush because I want to be able to get in those corners. I'm gonna do like half at a time. So, because my water is gonna dry out before I get a chance to put any color on there if I'm not careful. So, and because I'm using two blues. I'm using the manganese blue and the cobalt blue. That's the colors I'm going to use for my sky too. So I'm going to start with the manganese because it's a lighter blue. And I got my paper towel ready for creating my clouds. Keep ordering all these different papers, just trying out different papers, and I probably should just continue with arches. I like it the best. And probably part of that is because I know it. I've been painting with it for a long time. But there's just so many different paint or, papers and things. I love papers, so. Some people buy shoes, I buy paper. Notice I split when I decided, because I was doing half and half. I split it at a nice dividing point. I've got this flower that comes up here because a lot of times what happens when you do that, when you split, you'll get an edge mark. And so you want to put your split someplace where it's not going to matter if you do have a little bit of an edge. What you want to go for in your background It's whatever shows off your main event. So you want something that's slightly interesting. You don't want it to be boring, but you don't want it to take over either.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yes.
I was thinking for the background to do the rows of the vineyard. Uh, When would I get into that? Or can I do that at any time now?
Yeah, you can start, you can put that in anytime. I did this layer of blue, and then I'm going to start adding green in the background, you know, where my vineyards are. So I have the sky comes down in, and you know, like I said, it doesn't really matter if there's some blue
Mhm.
in there in your vineyards. It's pretty nondescript anyway. So this way it just kind of gives you a nice transition, I think. And so then once this dries, then I can start adding the layers of green and that I want to put in there.
Yeah, I had done a light wash of blue before I even had done the sky. I chose not to do the evergreens.
Yeah,
And so anyway, a couple of different shades of blue sky
Okay.
versus the wash.
good.
Yeah, so
I
okay.
look forward to seeing it. Oh, that's still wet. Yeah. I'm gonna let mine dry before I do anything else, since my sky is still really wet.
For watching.